The date is April 28th, 2026. Madrid, Spain. The Palacio de Cibeles, one of the most iconic buildings in the Spanish capital, is glowing with an ethereal light. The world's greatest athletes have gathered for the 2026 Laureus World Sports Awards, the Oscars of sports. The guest list is a who's who of sporting royalty. Novak Djokovic, the 24-time Grand Slam champion, is hosting the event. Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka are being crowned as Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year. Eileen Gu, the 3-time Olympic gold medalist, is there. The paparazzi are in a frenzy. The flashbulbs are exploding. And in the midst of it all, a 20-year-old Filipina tennis star has just arrived. The rumor mill had been churning for weeks. Speculation was rampant that Taylor Swift, the global pop icon, would be making an appearance. The paparazzi were camped outside the Palacio de Cibeles, their cameras trained on the entrance, waiting for a glimpse of the singer. The fashion journalists had their predictions ready. The fans were on the edge of their seats. And then, Taylor Swift did arrive. The crowd erupted. The cameras flashed. The fashion world collectively held its breath. She looked stunning, as always, dressed in a gown that would have been the talk of the night, on any other night. But this was not any other night. Because just moments later, a young Filipina tennis player walked onto the red carpet. And the energy shifted. The cameras that had been focused on Swift started swiveling toward Alex. The paparazzi started shouting her name. The fans, who moments earlier had been screaming for the pop icon, now had their eyes on the tennis star. The contrast was staggering. Everyone had come to see Taylor Swift. But when Alex walked in, she completely stole the spotlight. And when the votes were counted, she had won the unofficial beauty award of the night. This is the story of that magical night. This is the story of how Rhett Eala proved that she is not just a tennis star. She is a global fashion icon. This is the story of how she captivated the world with her style, her poise, and her undeniable star power. Face screaming in fear Philippines. Before the red carpet, before the awards, before the stunned reactions, there was the rise. And what a rise it had been. Alexandra Rhett Eala's journey to becoming one of the most talked about athletes in the world was nothing short of miraculous. She had started her career as a promising young player from a country with virtually no tennis infrastructure. The Philippines had never produced a tennis star of her caliber. The country's sporting identity was defined by basketball and boxing, with Manny Pacquiao as the ultimate national hero. Tennis was a niche sport, played primarily by the wealthy elite in exclusive clubs. But Alex was about to change all of that. Her journey began at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Spain, where she trained from a young age. The academy, founded by the 22-time Grand Slam champion, became her second home. It was there that she honed her skills, developed her game, and learned what it took to compete at the highest level. By 2026, Alex had become the first Filipino, man or woman, to win a WTA Tour singles event. She had defeated world number 3 Jessica Pegula in the Washington final, a victory that catapulted her into the global spotlight. She had reached the 4th round of Wimbledon, defeating defending champion Iga Swiatek on center court. She had climbed to a career-high number 31 in the world. The Philippines had never seen anything like it. But Alex's influence extended far beyond the tennis court. She had become the biggest draw in women's tennis, perhaps in all of tennis. In Toronto, she sold out stadiums. In Dubai, fans screamed and cheered as if watching a Taylor Swift concert. Sky Sports tennis host Gigi Salmon had likened her star power to that of Michael Jordan, noting that her matches had become must-see events, where crowds mirrored the energy of a pop concert. Former world number 5 Genie Bouchard had compared her to Taylor Swift and boxing legend Manny Pacquiao. 4-time Grand Slam champion Kim Clijsters had made perhaps the most striking analogy of all, likening Eala's life in the Philippines to that of Michael Jordan at the height of his fame. The Eala effect was not just about tennis. It was about a cultural phenomenon that was sweeping the globe. The fashion world was taking notice. Alex had been featured on the cover of Vogue Philippines. She had become a style icon in her own right, praised by L'Officiel Philippines for her youthful, laid-back, and refreshingly her style. And now, she was about to take her first major step into the world of high fashion. The Laureus World Sports Awards would be her first ever red carpet appearance. And she was determined to make it count. The Laureus World Sports Awards is one of the most prestigious events in the sporting calendar. Often referred to as the Oscars of sports, it celebrates the world's greatest athletes and sporting achievements. The 2026 edition was held at the historic Palacio de Cibeles in Madrid, Spain. The guest list was a who's who of sporting royalty, with the world's best athletes gathering to honor the year's outstanding achievements. The event was hosted by two of the biggest names in sports, Novak Djokovic, the 24-time Grand Slam champion from Serbia, and Eileen Gu, the 3-time Olympic gold medalist from China. The night's biggest awards went to Carlos Alcaraz, who was crowned Sportsman of the Year, and Aryna Sabalenka, who was named Sportswoman of the Year. The atmosphere was electric, a celebration of excellence, resilience, and the unifying power of sports. For Rhett Eala, the invitation to the Laureus Awards was more than just a recognition of her achievements. It was a statement. She had been chosen to represent the Philippines on one of the biggest stages in sports. She was rubbing shoulders with the most elite athletes in the world, Djokovic, Sabalenka, Alcaraz, Gu, and she belonged there. As Eala would later write on social media, sandwiched between greatness, a caption she shared with a selfie featuring Djokovic and Gu. The invitation was a recognition of Alex's growing global influence. She was no longer just a rising tennis star. She was a force to be reckoned with, and her appearance at the Laureus Awards would be the moment she proved it to the world. It was a chance for her to show that she was not just an athlete, but a global icon, and she was ready to seize it. Alex's red carpet look was a masterclass in style and cultural pride. The stunning cream-colored Filipiniana gown was designed by her uncle, renowned Filipino fashion designer Rhett Eala. It was a masterpiece of Filipino craftsmanship, a celebration of her heritage, and a statement of her style. In a world where many athletes opt for safe, generic gowns, Alex chose to wear something that was distinctly, proudly Filipino. The ensemble featured a soft, blush beige chiffon gown with a pleated bodice and a flattering waist cut that she had personally requested. The piña fabric was hand-woven, a nod to the traditional Filipino textile that had been worn by generations of Filipinas. The removable bolero featured classic terno butterfly sleeves, a signature of the Filipiniana silhouette, and the piña bolero could be removed at the end of the night. She had specifically asked for that option so she could go dancing. I doubt there are many pieces of clothing that make a Filipina feel more beautiful than a Filipiniana, Alex wrote on Instagram. For my first major red carpet appearance, at the Laureus Sports Awards, I chose to wear this look as a quiet nod to where I come from and what I carry when I step into rooms like those. The gown was the result of a frantic, last-minute collaboration. Alex had reached out to her uncle just a week before the event, asking for something distinctly Filipino. He sent sketches right away, and after a few days of back and forth, the dress was shipped to Madrid. The final product was breathtaking. Alex's fellow WTA players, including Coco Gauff, Victoria Mboko, Iva Jovic, and Katie Boulter, flooded social media with praise. They called her beautiful, absolutely stunning, and ridiculous. Madison Keys, the former Australian Open champion, noted, "Rhett Eala looked so good." Jessica Pegula, the world number 3, described her as the princess of the Philippines. The dress was more than just a fashion statement. It was a symbol of Alex's pride in her Filipino identity. She was showing the world that she carried her culture with her, no matter where she went. She was showing that she would never forget where she came from. And she was showing the fashion world that Filipino design was world-class. The rumor mill had been churning for weeks. Speculation was rampant that Taylor Swift, the global pop icon, would be making an appearance at the Laureus Awards. The paparazzi were camped outside the Palacio de Cibeles, their cameras trained on the entrance, waiting for a glimpse of the singer. The fashion journalists had their predictions ready. The fans were on the edge of their seats. And then, Taylor Swift did arrive. The crowd erupted. The cameras flashed. The fashion world collectively held its breath. She looked stunning, as always, dressed in a gown that would have been the talk of the night, on any other night. But this was not any other night. Because just moments later, a young Filipina tennis player walked onto the red carpet. And the energy shifted. The cameras that had been focused on Swift started swiveling toward Alex. The paparazzi started shouting her name. The fans, who moments earlier had been screaming for the pop icon, now had their eyes on the tennis star. The The contrast was staggering. Everyone had come to see Taylor Swift. But when Alex walked in, she completely stole the spotlight. It wasn't just that her dress was beautiful. It was that she carried herself with a poise and elegance that was captivating. She didn't try to compete with the pop stars. She didn't try to be something she wasn't. She was simply herself, a proud Filipina, a champion athlete, and a woman who exuded class and confidence. And the world couldn't look away. The moment was a testament to Alex's star power. She had not only captivated the tennis world, but she had now done the same in the world of fashion and entertainment. She was no longer just a rising star. She was a global phenomenon. The reaction from the tennis world was immediate and enthusiastic. Alex's fellow WTA players flooded social media with praise for her red carpet look. Coco Gauff, the four-time Grand Slam winner, called her simply beautiful. Victoria Mboko, who is also a rising star on the WTA Tour, described her as ridiculous. Katie Boulter, the British #1, said she was absolutely stunning. Iva Jovic spammed OMG, while Camila Osorio wrote Hermosa. Even fellow Filipina tennis star Jessica Pegula weighed in, calling her the princess of the Philippines. The reaction was not just about the dress. It was about what the dress represented. Alex was not just wearing a beautiful gown. She was wearing her heritage, her culture, and her identity. She was showing the world that she was proud to be Filipina. And her fellow players, from all corners of the world, were showing their respect and admiration. The moment was a turning point for Alex. She had not only captivated the tennis world, but she had now done the same in the world of fashion. She was no longer just a promising young player. She was a style icon, and the fashion world was taking notice. The fans' reaction to Alex's red carpet appearance was immediate and emotional. Social media flooded with messages of support and pride. The hashtag #EalaLaureus trended worldwide. Fans from the Philippines, the United States, and around the world shared their excitement and pride. "This is incredible," one fan wrote. "Alex Eala is not just a tennis player. She is a symbol of hope for millions of Filipinos. This is proof that the world recognizes her greatness." Another fan posted, "She is the princess of the Philippines. I'm so proud to be Filipino." The Filipino community was particularly moved. They saw Alex's red carpet appearance as a recognition of their culture and their identity. "This is proof that the whole world is watching Alex," one fan wrote. "She is not just our pride. She is the world's pride." Another fan posted, "Alex Eala just showed the world that Filipino design is world-class. Thank you, Alex, for making us proud." The reaction was a testament to the power of representation. Alex had shown the world that Filipinos could compete on the global stage, that Filipinos could succeed, that Filipinos could be champions, and that Filipinos could be fashion icons, too. When the votes were counted, Alex Eala was named the best dressed of the night by a panel of WTA players and fashion insiders. It was an unofficial beauty award, but it carried just as much weight as any trophy. She had won the night, not just on the tennis court, but on the red carpet. The victory was a quiet but powerful statement. Alex had not only shown that she could compete with the best in the world on the tennis court, but she had now proven that she could compete with the best in the world on the red carpet. She had captured the attention of the fashion world, and she had done it by staying true to herself. The unofficial beauty award was a recognition of Alex's star power. It was a sign that the fashion world was ready to embrace her, and it was a signal that her future was bright, not just in tennis, but in everything she chose to pursue. In the middle of the night's festivities, Alex took a moment to capture a selfie with two of the biggest icons in sports, Novak Djokovic, the 24-time Grand Slam champion, and Eileen Gu, the 3-time Olympic gold medalist. She shared the photo on Instagram with the caption, "Sandwiched between greatness." It was a simple moment, but it spoke volumes. The photo was a reminder of how far Alex had come. She had grown up watching these athletes compete on the world stage, and now she was standing shoulder to shoulder with them and equal in their presence. It was a moment of pure joy and humility, a recognition of the journey that had brought her here. The photo went viral, with fans expressing their delight at seeing Alex in such esteemed company. It was a sign that Alex had truly arrived. She was no longer just a promising young player. She was a global star. After the event, Alex took to social media to reflect on the experience. She wrote a heartfelt message expressing her gratitude for the opportunity to attend the Laureus World Sports Awards. She spoke of the importance of the event and the inspiration she had drawn from the athletes around her. Endlessly thankful to be part of such a special night, she wrote. The Laureus Sport Awards reminded me of how deeply sports can impact countless lives. Seeing all the inspiring people around me last night, I was able to experience that effect firsthand. She also singled out the moment that touched her most, the acceptance speech of legendary gymnast Nadia Comaneci, who was honored with the Laureus Lifetime Achievement Award. I was especially touched with Comaneci's acceptance speech. "Sport is education," she said. "I couldn't agree more. Thank you for paving the way and inspiring countless others." Alex's reflection was a testament to her character. She was not just a talented athlete. She was a thoughtful and grateful person. She understood the significance of the moment and the responsibility that came with it. She was ready to carry that responsibility forward. Alex's appearance at the Laureus World Sports Awards was more than just a red carpet moment. It was a recognition of everything Alex had achieved and everything she had the potential to achieve. It was a validation of her talent, her beauty, and her global appeal. It was a testament to the power of the Eala effect. Alex's journey from the cracked courts of Quezon City to the red carpet of the Laureus Awards had been nothing short of miraculous. She had overcome challenges that would have broken lesser players. She had faced injuries, setbacks, and doubts. She had remained humble, grounded, and grateful. And she had inspired millions of Filipinos around the world to dream big. The night was a reflection of that journey. It was a recognition that Alex was not just a tennis player. She was a movement, a symbol of hope, a reminder that no dream is too big, no obstacle too great, no challenge too difficult to overcome. The fashion world was watching. The tennis world was watching. And Alex Eala was just getting started. From the cracked courts of Quezon City to the sold-out stadiums of Toronto and Cincinnati. From the cover of Forbes to the bright lights of the Laureus Awards. Her journey has defied every expectation. This is not the end. This is only the beginning.